All right, guys, gals, y'all, welcome back. I hope y'all are staying healthy and safe out there in this crazy ass world. Um, anyway, I want to show you where I'm at with this new rotor. So this was here. Let me start from the beginning. So here was the prototype that I printed out just to see how big I can go. One of the limitations is my build volume. And so, excuse me, I could go a little bit bigger than this, but I also wanted it to be tight. So this was the prototype I made. Then I printed out two of these. These are, I think, about 10 millimeters thick, and they'll sit like this. And then I printed out this sleeve. So quickly getting back to the build volume, I thought about building something much, much bigger in the way I did the solenoid motor, where I built it in segments. The only problem with that is for this type of build, building it in segments is going to introduce error. It's going to introduce, uh, you know, it's going to stop the ability, it's going to stop my ability of being accurate as far as balancing. Now, when I built the solenoid motor over there, that guy right there, that was a different type of rotor because the rotor itself, the ring, kind of floats inside there on bearings. So it didn't have to be perfect. Oops, wait a minute, caught on the thing. Where this one here has to sit on a central shaft, a carbon fiber rod, which I got those in right here. This is the one I'm going to use. This is 8 millimeter OD, 6 millimeter ID, and I'm going to put a 6 millimeter brass rod inside to stiffen it up the way I did the Beast motor. All right, so getting back to this, I was going to put a sleeve around this like this, and I was going to use the same color PLA, and I printed a test one out. This is in vase mode, which makes it super thin because it's basically just one layer thick. I didn't like that, and I wanted the outside to be this copper infused PLA. So I made two of them. I made a solid one like this, and then I made one with windows like this so you can actually see the magnets. The only problem I see with this one here is this is going to introduce, got all kinds of junk on there. This is going to introduce more drag because of these holes. So I think for now I'm going to stick with the solid one. So I also got all of my bar magnets in. They're 3 inches or 76 millimeters or something like that. I have 10 of them. So I have to be, this is going to be tricky. I have to be really careful because these are powerful magnets. And here, let me show you two of them that are from a previous build. These are the two original ones. So I need to take them all out carefully, find out which side is north and which side is south, because they're divided lengthwise. And I have some magnetic film so you can see the line in there. It really isn't centered, which is kind of weird. I would think that it would be centered more, where this top side is north, but you can see the line. I don't know if you can see that through the camera. The line is like up here instead of being in the center. I don't know if all my magnets are like that. I'm going to check them all out. I don't know if there's a reason for that. Here, let me grab these See if I can see it through the plate here, or through the plastic. Yeah, it's the same thing with all of them, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure why that is. I never really noticed that before. I would just figure out which side was north, which side was south, and mark it, and then go, you know, north, south, north, south. Actually, it would be in these guys here. So I got to figure out a way. I screwed up too. I got some resin on here because I worked with some resin yesterday to fill a phone stand that I made for myself to give it some weight. It's no big deal though, because this is the texture side and this is the side that was on the top. And again, I put holes in here to lighten it up, also kind of make it look cool. But yeah, let me see how far I can get with putting the magnets in. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. What I'd like to do is just get them all in on one side and then put the top side down like that. But because these are so powerful, I don't know if I can do that. I think I can do it. But let me see how I can, excuse me, get them in there, see how I want to orientate the end plates, if I want to use the texture on the outside, on the inside. A lot of that too will dictate how the magnets go into these square holes, because the top end is cleaner than the bottom end. The bottom end has what's called a little bit of elephant's foot on it, which is no big deal. That's why I have this guy, so I can just go ring, 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 ring like that and get that elephant's foot off of there, which I'll probably have to do to all of these before I even start. Yeah. Anyway, I also printed out some new magnet holders for because this is going to sit vertical. So this guy will sit in the stand like this. I'll have a magnet down here, one pointing up, which will float it. And then I also got some new, or some more, I got to be careful of these magnets, some more of those ceramic bearings. Let me see if I can get these. I buy these guys right here. Curvini or whatever they're called. These are really good, really fast bearings, and they're the ceramic ones. That's the ones I get anyway. I get them from the old Amazon. All right, so stay tuned. So this is how it would look if I used the one with the windows. You can see, well, I would have to align it better. But that's a nice size rotor. And again, it's going to sit like this initially. So for looks, I think this would be much better. But for speed, I think the solid one would work out better. Because again, there'd be no air resistance going into these. I mean, I think the air would cause a drag. It would go into these holes or these slots and cause it to drag a little bit. But the nice thing about this is that it's fit in such a way where I can swap these out. At least that's the idea. All right, stay tuned. And this is what the solid one would look like. Of course, again, it would be more in line. Let me see if I can, there we go. So the solid one is all right. It's not as cool looking as the one with the slats. But again, I could swap these out. All right, stay tuned. Shit, I thought I was recording. So what I was saying was, I almost snapped my fingers taking these apart to mark them. So instead, I'm going to leave them together with the plastic in between and just mark one side north, the other side south. Unlike This one I took apart and tried to do it. Of course, I marked both of the north ends. What I'd like to normally do is just mark the north ends. This is north, this is south. But in doing so, you see right here, I chipped it a little bit because it went flying and smashed my finger. I gotta be careful. Stay tuned. So it looks like I'm gonna be able to do it like this. I mean, they are pulling close together, but because the poles are on the opposite end, this is a north-south on the either side there. So this first half is south, the second half is north. This first is north, the second half is south. So they are pulling together like this. But because this is 10 millimeters thick, it's holding them. So I think I'll be all right like this. All right, let's get the rest of them lined up. Well, there's blood on some of those magnets. Got me. Pinched me good. Got me a couple of times. God damn it. You think after, what, 10 years, 15 years of doing this, you'd think I would wear gloves or be smarter, but no. That son of a bitch got me good. Got me on the thumb and on the thing. Anyway, let me get healed up here and I'll finish the rest. Stay tuned. All right. I got it together. Quite heavy. Lots of magnets on there. Yeah, it's heavier than I thought it would be. So it was a good thing that I cut these holes out. Not that that little bit of PLA would do anything. But yeah, and now I'm wearing gloves right after the injury. And I decided to go with the texture on the outside, even though, and I tap them all down like that, turn over. And if I hear that sound, that high-pitched sound, that means I know the magnet is hitting this porcelain. Anyway, there it is. And of course, I double check each thing, north, south, north. I double check it all because I've screwed it up before. So now it's just a matter of whether I put this guy on or whether I put this guy on. And if I use this guy, I have to line it up just right so that the magnets are in the window. I don't know, something tells me to use this one. What do y'all think? Stay tuned. So if I do it with the window, this is what it would look like. And then I notice that I can turn this like that so that it doesn't show the magnets. Or I can do it so that it shows half a magnet. Or then I can slide it again so that it would show the whole magnet. I don't know that I like that, besides the fact I went and put N's and S's on them. Of course, I could always wipe those off and make them nice and shiny. I don't know. What do you guys think? Think it looks better with the windows? Do you think the windows would cause too much air resistance? Or do you think I should put the solid one on there? Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Excuse me. So I think the solid one makes it look more beastly, right? Look more more. Yeah, I think I'll go with the solid one for right now. And the solid one holds it together really well, so I don't need any glue or anything. The solid one was a little bit tighter fit than the windowed one, so that it really holds it together tight. Sorry, I had to cut that one short. My wife was calling me about something. Who knows? You know what I mean? Anyway, I love her to death. Yeah, so the solid one, I think I'm going to go with the solid one. It's a little bit more beastly. And again, like I said, it holds it together much better. I really don't need any glue or anything. Yeah. Yeah, it holds it together really well. So now I just need to deburr the edges here a little bit. Let me split the difference there. Yeah, I got to deburr the edges a little bit. Get a shaft on there and see what we can do. Stay tuned. Yeah, and the carbon fiber shaft fits in there beautifully, nice and tight. This thing looks really nice and balanced. I don't see any wobble. Yeah, that's going to look gorgeous. Or it's going to work really well, I think. And again, it's going to be up like this, so let me see if you guys can see that. It's going to look like that. And this guy, where did I put him? Oh yeah, he'll go on here like this with the magnet, yada, yada, yada. You know the thing. So what I need to do is, I need to make sure that this is nice and centered. Yeah, that's really nice. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. All right, let me put you right there. And let me go and upload this. And tomorrow we will see the first run. All right? Ciao, guys. Happy Sunday.